All right, WhatNot sellers, take a breath, because today is the day the new WhatNot policy goes into effect. That's right, March 10th. Well, probably March 11th by the time you watch this. Either way it goes into effect today, and if you're still running mystery games the old way, you might be in some trouble. But before you panic, I got you covered. Most games just need a little tweaking, and they can still work. And if you stick around, I got something for you that will help you stay in compliance with your games. Trust me, you're gonna want this. All right, here's what we're covering in this video. Biggest mistakes sellers are making, how to adjust your games to stay compliant, whether mystery boxes or surprise sets are worth still doing, and my final take on this policy. I did post a YouTube video prior to this when the policy was first posted. However, since posting that video, the policy was updated. So if you want to check out that previous video, I'll probably link it in the description, and also probably put it some here in the card somewhere right there. After I posted my video, they made some updates to it because it was very vague, which is what prompted me to make the video in the first time. This time they did specify some things on there, kind of made it a little bit more clear, but I still been getting a ton of questions. So I wanted to go ahead and take those questions as they were more real world examples and go ahead and break them down and talk about my interpretation on the updated policy. Let's go ahead and get started. The TLDR, people were scamming, right? You got people stealing, got people scamming, and mystery boxes were a huge opportunity for people to do that. I've been in streams where either the average just seems to be off, or there's like one prize in the box, or hey, my friend actually won this prize, right? Because it just seems sketchy from the beginning. All right, so here's the policy we can see here. So we're gonna go through what you can and can't do anymore. And if you keep doing it, you're just on a speed run to get banned. So it doesn't matter. Usually when they make these policy updates, they are monitoring streams closely. So just be careful, just stick to the new rules. I know it sucks, I know we got to make changes, but we can get some workarounds for most of people's games with just some slight tweaks. So just stick with me, we'll go through this and then we'll talk about that. The first thing I want to make note of here is that this policy does not apply to box breaks. I've been getting a lot of questions about box breaks. Policies are pretty much similar. If you guys want me to make a video about that, let me know in the comments below. I can go through it and talk about it. I've been spending a lot of time reviewing policies. So I just wanted to make note of that. So if you're doing box breaks by the book, like you have been and been no issues, this does not apply to you. This is specifically for mystery box style streams or games that have that kind of mystery or randomization applicable to it. So right here, we can see single surprise products cannot have the possibility for a prize. So even like a mystery box where you have like a huge slab or chases in there, I think the reason they did this is because there's been a lot of cases in the past where the chase doesn't even get put in the box until towards the end of the game because people get lucky and they get it right away. It's on you, man. If you're running it, you should be running ethical games. Not we end up in situations like this where you fuck the rest of us. I don't feel bad for anybody out there who's kind of shady or running unethical auctions or shows or anything like that, but for the rest of us, I feel you. Believe me, my mystery boxes have been a big thing for a while because I do them fair. The next thing on here, sellers must include an accurate description of the contents of a surprise product with enough detail that individuals know what to expect for their purchase. So you don't have to put exactly what's going in there, but you do have to give enough clue so people can have an idea of what they're going to get. And they want you to include the brand, the item type, condition, and quantity. If there is no brand, like if it's custom art or anything like that, you just have to put unbranded in there when you list the items. This video and what I got for you later should help you tweak your games to stay in compliance. But why do they have this highlighted? I feel like this is not even the biggest part of these changes, but whatever. Basically, no raffles, no wheels, no races, or anything that you have to use an outside physical thing for. I'll be putting a link to this policy in the description below as well with a couple other things. So if you want to go ahead and take a look at the full policy, you can find it in there. So we already talked about this. A fully detailed list is required in the listing description. So you do not have to put these in the product description. You do have to put this in each set description. So when you create your set, you have to list all the items that are potentially in there with as much description as you can and the quantity of each item. I'll show an example in a little bit. Mention this again, the brand, manufacturer, or unbranded if it's like a custom or there's no brand or irrelevant. Title, product name, condition, and quantity if more than one. So if you only have one, you don't have to put one. You just list what it is. Right here, they're saying if you're going to list any details about your products, for example, whether it's graded or not, they want you to do that for all of the product descriptions for consistency. And yes, this goes in the product description. Here's an example policy. I'll give you guys some better examples later. So this is how they want you to put your checklist or your list of items that people can potentially get from your surprise set. So basically here you can have like one pink necklace and one blue necklace, condition fair. So those would be in one surprise set. Over here you have two pink necklaces, condition fair, and two blue necklaces, condition fair. So if we're doing like pack rips, you would say like one sealed Pokemon pack, condition new. So if you have like 10 of them, you would just put quantity 10. Like I said, I'll give you an example, just stick with me. So next we see here, so no prize. Sellers cannot include a prize like we mentioned earlier in their surprise sets, and also cannot provide or describe the floor, ceiling, or average of the price of the items in the set. I don't get why that is, honestly. I feel like that's just more transparency, especially if you have everything there. I'm assuming maybe because like mystery boxes, people will do dollar floors, one, $200 prize, 100 pools, and it's like $20 average, right? Like, get the fuck out of here, Timmy. You ain't doing that shit no more. This is interesting because I've seen, let's just say, some big streamers doing these surprise sets, and they're not sticking with this. Just err on the side of caution. If you're thinking about something that might be not right, don't be like, PMM told me I could do that, or he's gonna do it. It's not the case. I'm gonna err on the side of caution. I'm gonna go with what I think I can do, but I don't want to lead anybody the wrong way, even though I've seen some of the big streamers, I won't name them, but we all know who they are. They're doing surprise sets all over the place. But basically, they want you to keep items of the same type and category all together for your surprise set. For example, a set cannot contain a single sports card as one product and an autographed photo as another. Okay, different, right? So there are some examples here that just seem a little bit off. Trading cards. A set cannot contain a Digimon card as one product and Naruto card as another. I guess it depends on what your surprise set is and what the category is. That's how I interpret it, because if you're running them under the trading cards category. Now, what if you're running it under the anime category and you're running a bunch of different anime cards and they're still in the same category? So I don't know, should that go under trading cards? Should that go under anime? I'm going to stay away from it, but it's just, again, it's really vague, and I wish they would provide a little more clarity on some of these things. I would say just err on the side of caution. That's pretty much it for the policy, but now we'll talk about what could still be allowed with the new WhatNot policy updates. I don't think it's all bad news. I think, like I said, you just have to tweak your games a little bit. So for example, if you're used to running mystery games where people pick a pool from your box, you just have to set those up in a surprise product, be transparent, list everything you have in there, and don't leave any obvious chases or even mention a prize or chase or anything like that. Let's talk about the rules that you have to follow to make sure you stay in compliance. I don't want to see anybody get banned, especially if you're going to blame me. Just stay away from it. Buyers need to know everything that they have a chance to win in your surprise product. And you cannot use any other forms of randomization besides the surprise product listing. Now again, if you're doing box breaks, that's different, because the box breaks are sealed and they do have to be professionally sealed from a distributor, from a manufacturer, anything like that. Other than that, you shouldn't be doing anything for randomization besides the surprise set product. So I do have a question for WhatNot. Basically, what I don't get is they want you to only use the surprise set tool. And when they put the original post up, they did say that this was going to be available for everyone. However, for those on iOS and web, we have a new surprise set tool. More easily run a surprise set. For details on how to create a surprise set with the integrated tool, click here. This feature will be available to all sellers later this month. When they originally put the surprise policy update post, it said that this tool would be available to everyone on go live day, right? My question for you, WhatNot, is how are people who run on Droids supposed to do any type of mystery product? Again, vagueness. You should be directing people how to do this, especially if they don't have an iOS or computer to run their streams off of. I know a lot of people who have Androids and who do not have a PC and are running streams, and now I guess they're just stuck. You guys were valued at $4 billion last year. You should definitely have somebody working on this or be more clear on how people should proceed. That's just my opinion. It is what it is. So if you guys haven't messed with that surprise tool, let me know. And if you want me to make a little video walking through setting up something, let me know about that too, because you cannot manually assign prizes. You have to use the surprise set tool. You can either manually randomize it and then run it, or it will automatically randomize it for you, or it would automatically randomize and run it for you, depending on how you set it up. But you cannot manually assign spots or hits or auctions to people. As promised, I'm gonna go through a couple examples for you on how you might want to list your surprise set products in order to remain compliant. Follow the surprise set policy, create listings with full transparency of what items are in the set. We talked about that. Detailed checklist. Eliminate any prizes or any prize-based incentives, so no chase spots, lucky auction winners, hot spots like I was running for a little bit, no hidden prizes, anything like that. You can still run buyer's givvies. However, you cannot incentivize people with your surprise product to get the buyer's givvy. But if you run buyer's givvies in your show or at the end of your show or however, that is still allowed as long as you do it within the app and you follow those policies that they provide, which, man, a lot of people, I've been getting my education about policies on WhatNot, and I see a lot of people violating giveaway policies. I'm just saying. You might want to read those policies, because I know I have to make some changes myself. I would recommend everybody goes and reads the policies about giveaways, buyers giveaways. There's a lot of stuff in there that I had no clue about. And I've seen a lot of givvies and buyers givvies being ran completely against TOS. I'm not saying I'm guilty, but I'm not saying I'm not guilty. I would just say read the policy or request a video from me. If we're following the rules, all the buyers should be aware of what possible items are in the set. Again, you don't have to use the specifics unless you want to. Surprise set, if you haven't seen it, kind of runs like a give you. It's just like a slot machine wheel, right? And it just randomizes and picks a name, or no, I'm sorry, it picks a prize. Like I say here, when in doubt, reach out to WhatNot seller support for clarification. But I have one example here. We got 20 Pokemon themed graded cards from PSA available in the set. Again, there's a little bit of ambiguity here because I don't know, should you be CGC, PSA, Beckett? Should they all have to be that way? I don't know, because they're different, right? The way those examples were, like shirts and pants and tank tops are not the same thing. So I would still consider that clothing. I don't know. This one I'm on the fence about. I just put this example in here because I don't want to steer anybody wrong. If you're running just a slabs surprise set, I think it should be okay, but that's my opinion. If you're not sure, stick to this. Example 1, Pokemon PSA 8, grade 10, quantity 4, right? PSA 8, quantity 10. This is the most safe example I could provide without steering people the wrong way, and then again I get blamed. One thing to note, so this I did verify with WhatNot because I did have somebody ask me about this. So you can list items in your surprise box as long as you're transparent if they have different quantities. So example 2, Pokemon slab PSA, right, quantity 10, right? So you have 10 grade 8 slabs. Down here you can see we got a set of 2 Pokemon slabs, PSA grade 7, set of 3 grade 6. But anyway, so just make note of that. You can do that as long as you're being fully transparent. This guide I put together, you can find this in the link below. So if you want to read through all of this, you can. But basically, here is another example that I thought was a good one. We have 10 boxes, and each surprise box is tagged and on screen with a number associated with it. And you label them, you write on them, you tag them, however you do it. 1 through 10, they're visible on screen, and you correlate each auction number to that prize box. Then you can list all the contents of each box. For example, Charizard PSA 10, PSA 9 Pikachu, Umbreon. Like there's different items in these, right? Again, with raw cards, you have an example. 1 box has 3 vintage, whatever. I would make sure this is on the description up here in the product description so people understand and you explain it. Assign each auction winner their corresponding box number. So example, auction 1 gets box 1, auction 2 gets box 2, and so on and so forth. So when you're running the auctions, people know I'm going to get that box. You have to make sure everybody's stuff gets opened on stream. Can wait till later, to the end of the surprise product, because I know sometimes it's a pain when you have like boxes like this to stop the stream, open it up, you know, dish the stuff out, bag it up, and then move on to the next one. So if you want to do that, you have to make sure you clarify with your buyers, you put it in the description, and you make sure you do open them during that stream. Even if they tell you ship it as is, be like, no, here, open, look what it is, close it, send it out if you want. Again, if you guys want this is in the description below. I have links to all their posts, how to set these up, policy, and the gambling policy. I would recommend going and reading their policy or grabbing this document if you want to kind of use my examples and see my breakdown and my assumption or my opinions of it. So based on everything I have in that document or based off your interpretation of the policy, I would recommend having a good understanding, or at least the best understanding you can have based on the policy that they've updated, and just try to be in compliance and be transparent, and you should be fine. Just use common sense and don't try to scam people. So is it still worth selling mystery products or surprise products on the stream? I think so. If that's your thing, I'm going to be doing some surprise product streams, switching it up a little bit and try it out, see how it works for my buyers and my stream. So if you guys want to check that out, you can find all my links in the description below. So is it still worth running mystery products? I think so. I've always had my mystery boxes that I've always ran, and I'm going to go ahead and switch these up now and do maybe some surprise products. So if you follow the rules, you should be okay. Keep your buyers happy, stay flag free. But if you just ignore it because you think they're not going to find you, they're going to be like Oprah handing out bans. You get a ban, you get a ban, you get a ban. So I would say just err on the side of caution. Like I said, they do monitor a lot of streams. They want to enforce them and set a precedent that they're not going to allow this type of stuff. If I were you, I'd go in some of the bigger streams, whatnot, but I don't say nothing. So if you do want to check out this guide, I also have the links to the WhatNot policies. You can grab them all in the description below. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Should they be doing more? Should they be doing less? Is this too much? Like I said, I'm not an expert. This is just me reviewing it. Do you think my interpretations of these are fair? Do you think I'm wrong? I'm happy to know. Just let me know, you know?